Is Anna gone?
Anna probably went off after what Dickie left up here. You can't let her be out there alone. I know, but it needed to be taken care of. I concur. Hurry, Sam. No cell reception. If anything happens, we're on our own.
Of course. So yep, Anna's gonna be able to die here. I'm gonna keep her alive.
Declan
Oh,
could be here
it
already.
ends where it
I should be
began.
careful.
It ends where it all began. Gotcha. So there was a story-related reason why you came here in the beginning. But no, nobody's here until a cutscene comes on.
Syringes, bottles. Basswood has been having a tough few years.
Well, ain't nothing you can do about it.
Finally pull yourself out of your daze long enough to join me. I was worried about you.
I know. I had a bit of a panic attack. I'm really sorry I put us in danger. But that's over now. I'm in the here and now, 100%.
All right. Glad to have you. So I guess this could be all of this madness coming to a close, right? Hopefully in the good way. Maybe we can bring Nick and Dennis some justice. I'm ready to see it end.
It's probably time we find those files. Any luck yet?
I can't find them anywhere. Did Dickie say where the dead drop was?
He didn't. We'll have to keep looking for it. Did you already go through that side?
I've been looking everywhere. So far, all I've found is a lot of gum under tables. Declan could be here any minute. Let's hurry it up.
I don't know why you'd be searching for files underneath tables, but okay. Let's see. I mean directly underneath.
Found it.
Well, fucking A.
You did? Let me see. With this,
Put
we'll
it
be
the
able
fuck
to put
away.
Declan behind bars and clear your name. Come on.
Hold it there, boss.
Whoa.
Except not.
Now, you two just relax. We're here for the same reason. Now, all you have to do is give me what you found in that there lockbox.
You... How could you look everyone in the eye and lie to them? You went to his wake? You drank with his friends.
It was harder than you think.
Tell me what happened with Nick. Why did you kill him?
Same thing that happened to you. He saw an opening and jumped in it. He started asking questions, never actually thought he'd find answers.
But questions to what, though?
But he did. And then he kept playing with fire, so he got burned.
So that's it. You killed him because he did his job.
Don't start thinking I enjoyed doing it. It just had to be done. It was just the same as with that drunk fool Dennis.
Oh, he's part of the drug thing. Gotcha.
All I wanted was to see how much he knew and get him to keep his mouth shut. Turns out he knew more than he should have.
It doesn't have to end the same way this time. There's always another option.
Almost sounds like you wising up some, Higgs. Doesn't look like you're willing to take the same fall from 2 years ago. Fuck that common good shit, right?
You always seem to care about this town. Its history, its people. Why do this?
I care more about this town than anyone. I've spent my whole life protecting it. Everybody's happy to shake my hand and say how grateful they are. But as soon as you turn around, they'll stab you in the back. Eventually,
Yeah.
I realized that's how people are. The only thing left is to adapt. Help keep a lid on things. And if someone's got a profit, might as well be me. Nick and Dennis, that part wasn't supposed to happen. But here we are. And I'm done leaving behind loose ends.
Anna's gonna try something.
I find that very interesting. You know what? You know,
I think enough people are dead, Declan. Think about what you're doing. Is this what you want? You killed Nick. You killed Dennis. You're running the drug ring in Basswood.
If only you could have left it at that. But you had to poke around again. Now I have 2 witnesses to deal with, thanks to you.
This is bad. Be careful. Every word will count from now on.
I know.
You have to lower his guard long enough for you and Anna to gain the upper hand. It's gonna be hard, but remember, I'm with you. Every word of the way.
Tell me exactly why I shouldn't kill both of you right here.
Because we won't talk.
Keep your cool. He's not gonna shoot if he thinks he has better options. Otherwise, he already would have. Killing us is not in your best interest, Declan. The more bodies you leave behind, the harder it'll be to hide them.
It's a good point. But at least bodies don't talk. Look, I don't want to do this. But I promise. It ain't personal.
Don't delude yourself. Nothing is more personal than this. And you won't do it.
What makes you think that? Seen into my soul?
I'm gonna ask him
He
again.
wants things to stay as they were, to cover up the whole story.
No shit.
If he thinks you'll get in his way, he won't hesitate to pull that trigger. You're not some psycho killer, Declan. You're in over your head. I doubt you ever intended to kill anyone. Dickie's still alive. You could have killed him, and you didn't. You're still a cop. You still care about this town.
Maybe you're right, Sam. Maybe deep down I don't want to hurt anyone. Or maybe I just still had a use for Dickie. And I was just thinking of paying him a visit as soon as I got the goods.
Good luck finding him. He won't show up if he doesn't hear from us again.
I know you're bluffing.
Ooh.
You seem to think you can just walk away. Go ahead. Tell me how that happens.
I'm not gonna lie.
For all his bad boy act, it's clear he wants insurances. To know he's safe. Deep down, he thinks everyone is as crooked as he is. Take the proof Dickie stole and let us go. We won't tell anyone. You know where our family and friends live, after all.
And that would be enough to keep you from talking. Why should I trust you? You're you. You care about stories, not people. You published that article that sank the whole town, leaving saps like me to clean it up. If I let you go, who's to say it won't be the same thing all over again?
You know, as a criminal and as a cop, he's probably seen lots of desperate people doing desperate things. Stay calm. Appear confident. You staring down the barrel of his gun is already having an effect on him. I put my own interests first. And it's in my best interest to not be shot. I could turn on you, risk my life and the lives of everybody I love. Or I could go home and forget about what I know. Forget all about Basswood. Honestly, I could really use a reason to forget about this place for good.
You become a wise man, Sam. I must say, Higgs, you might have found yourself a way out of this. How about you just hand over the evidence, Anna? Nice and easy.
Shit. She's gonna fucking die, isn't she?
It all comes down to this, Sam.
Oh.
Anna's about to jump him. Keep his attention on you.
And I get him.
It's better for everyone this way. You win, Declan.
Good call. I expect you two to keep your end of the bargain.
You asshole!
Oh, nice. that sucks.
Hello? A woman has been shot. I need an ambulance. Just hurry!
Where at, though? You gotta tell him where at. Is she gonna die?
Okay, good. Stay with me. You have to stay with me.
I'm fine. Don't worry.
Anna, please.
Carrie James at 1043 WVCK, the Basswood Sound. You heard the news today? The local cop who died in that fatal shooting last week is apparently the head of a small opioid ring right here in Basswood. Crazy. It's believed he used his position to bring in drugs from all over the county and that he murdered 2 people in an attempted cover-up. Good news, however, the journalist who was wounded while confronting the rogue cop was released from
Survived.
the hospital today.
I'm pretty sure his radio should have turned off as soon as he took out the keys for the ignition, but okay.
Oh, Sam. Nice to see you up and about.
Him again? He really wants to be a part of this community, doesn't he? Wait, scratch that. He really wants to look like he's part of this community.
I mean, here's my issue with this whole thing is that they're making him seem important right now, and yet I talked to him one time at that drugstore place. Like, and I'm pretty sure the only person you actually had to talk to was Joan, which means that even talking to him was optional. But okay.
Nice to see you again. Paying your respects.
I thought I'd wished Anna my best. What affects the community affects us all, Sam. Lots of well-wishers. Kathy, Walter, Bess. Makes me feel a touch like a ghoul.
Well, sometimes it's what it takes to be part of the community. I know how it feels to be outside looking in.
Very astute. Putting down roots is a rather active process.
How's Kathy? She doing okay? She's been going through some hard times lately.
I've noticed. I'm thinking of giving her some paid time off. That way she can focus on her daughter.
You haven't done
That's
that
very
already?
generous of you.
Nah, I'm just trying to do my part. Besides, the pharmacy just wouldn't be what it is without Kathy. I feel so selfish keeping you away from everyone. I'm sure Anna is waiting for you. You have a good day. No. You have a good life, young man.
I'll try.
Hold up, though. You mean to tell me that prick, like... you mean to tell me one of his workers, their husband died,
Looks like I'm not the only one who's come to visit Anna.
and he doesn't do a damn
I'm so
thing?
glad she's finally out of the hospital.
Dude, if I was somebody's fucking worker, I'm not worker, if I was somebody's boss, and, let me adjust my... And if I was somebody's boss, and their, like, spouse just died, I'd be like, yo, you take fucking 2 weeks paid leave immediately. Let's see. Who we got there? We got Joan, we got Kathy, so we got everybody who's important.
Sam, hold your horses. Anna's busy with the sheriff. You should probably give him a moment or two.
Sure, Joe. How you been?
How have I been? Son, I appreciate you being here for Anna, but you don't change what happened.
What?
My girl's hurt, real bad.
Yeah.
And things could have been even worse without you. You did good.
See? Told you promising him you'd keep his daughter safe was a good idea. Who knows, it might have even given you the extra boost you needed against Declan. But you did do good. Well done, champ.
I mean, he didn't actually... I mean, truth be told, he didn't actually keep his promise. He said to keep her safe. That would imply her not getting shot. Because safety... Like, being safe doesn't mean you get mauled by a goddamn mountain lion but still survive from the hospital. That means that you don't get mauled by the mountain lion. He didn't keep her safe, he just kept her alive. But maybe I'm just too technical with as far as, like, oaths or promises goes. Wasn't just me. You know what?
Anna did good too. I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for her.
Well, that makes two of us. You know,
But you're not standing
Anna
there.
told me how things went down up there. Said you getting inside Declan's head saved her skin.
I just talked. Said anything and everything and whatever. It worked out.
She said as much. Well, whatever you did, it worked. I'm glad you were there. I know you're really here for my daughter. And today, you're not the only one. Lots of good people have come around to see how she's doing. Don't you be a stranger, Sam. Not a lot of people with a good handshake left.
I've already checked. Wait. Is that Walter? I don't want to talk to him. Fuck Walter. Here's the reason why. Like, Walter, first off, like, he's overly nice, yes. But, like, here's the thing, though. I feel like if I talk to Walter, it's going to be, because she just got out of the hospital. So it's going to be, like, anybody else. He's just going to sit there and give me a bunch of, generous platitudes. And that's pretty much where it'll end. So I honestly don't care to talk to him.
Where are they? Where are Dad's notebooks? The yellow legal pad
You
ones?
can get them later. You need to say hello to the guests who just arrived.
The yellow ones were Dad's favorites. I wanted to start using
Joan?
them. They've got to be here somewhere. Just
Joan
give me
Waldron.
a minute.
Don't make me say it again.
Fine. I guess it doesn't really matter. Careful, Muley. She's in one of her moods.
Seems like you are too.
I'm sorry you had to see that. It was hard before, but now she's completely shut me out.
She's still trying to make sense of all that's happened. She's been through a lot. Maybe Basswood just isn't the right place for her anymore.
You don't understand. It's not that easy to leave.
Kathy, I'm not here to judge. I just want to help.
I know. Sorry. I've just been dealing with so much lately. You've always managed to get Joan to talk to you. Any advice?
Stop doing drugs.
Now, Sam, we need to be really careful about this. Kathy's already on edge. Joan noticed her mom is overdoing the painkillers, but we can't just kick the door down and confront her directly. Kathy, Joan is distant because she feels you haven't been yourself lately. She told me at times it's like you don't see her.
It's nothing against her. I've just been working myself ragged, and I hurt my back, and...
She said it wasn't just that. She's noticed the pills.
It's the only way I can deal with my back, and it helps with other things.
Look, I can't imagine how hard it is to raise a child by yourself. But I don't want to see Joan grow apart from the last parent she has.
Oh, God. I didn't realize it got that bad. You're right. I need to get help. Sam, could I count on you to help look after Joan every now and then? She needs the people she loves close to her right now.
Well, Sam is the godfather, so...
I'd love to. I get along better with her than most adults.
I thought I could do this alone.
I'm here to help in any way I can.
Thank you. And if you ever need something, know your family. I should really say hi to the other guests. Take care.
Okay. Well, Anna, let's see what you got going on. Oh, wait for Anna. Okay. That means that probably... Wait, I'd rather talk to Joan. Can I talk to Joan instead of Walter? I don't want to talk to Walter, dude.
Hey, Bug.
Hey, Muley.
This one is all you. I never could get a read on her. How are you holding up?
Fine, I guess. Well, at least that's what most people want me to say when they ask.
on, Bug. I want to know how you feel. How you really feel.
I
Shitty.
guess better today than yesterday? Maybe. I still miss Dad. But finding out what happened to him, I don't know, makes me feel a bit better.
It'll keep feeling better with time. Even if it's hard, you have to keep one thing in mind. You're not alone. And your mom will always be there for you, no matter what.
What about you? Are you staying this time?
I'm not sure yet.
Oh,
But I promised your mom I'd help keep you out of her hair.
you did?
Of course. I figured you might be happy to have me around every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Every now and then. So we'll get to hang out again? Like in maybe board games at the coffee shop? Just like old times?
Anytime you want.
You're the best, Muley.
I'm all right. Listen, I need to find Anna now. I'll see you around, okay?
The sooner the better.
Thank shit. I have to.
Walter.
Samuel, my boy. As I live and breathe. I kept meaning to call, but phones are so impersonal.
I agree,
How are you
actually.
holding up?
I'm just happy Anna's coming home. Things could have been much worse.
It always can be. It always can be. You went through something terrible, but I'm glad you came out the other end. I've had a brush myself with the Maker here and there, and I would never call them fun. Not fun at all. Life-affirming, though, definitely. Even for those close to you, it leaves a mark. Now, 2 members of my family of heart are gone. One is wounded. That day, you said you need to ride until you can't anymore. Well, this is as far as I go. The Basswood Jungle has printed its last pages.
Consider taking some time to think it through. This doesn't sound like you. My first week in the bullpen, you said to me, "The pen is not a sword, but a shield." You take this town's shield away?
Using my own words against me. Believe me, I wish there were another way. But I lost my flame, and there's no one to pick up the torch. Except...
He's gonna offer you to be editor-in-chief.
Yep.
He never liked you leaving in the first place, though he is missing the obvious. Anna. She's connected to this place in a way that you aren't. She'd be the right choice. If you're not interested in the position yourself, that is.
I'll give it to Anna if I have the choice.
You. I see no one more up to the task. You've proven time and time again you're the quintessence of a journalist. I should have told you a long time ago.
I have an issue with this whole thing right here. And it's a character issue. My issue with it is this. Aside, the only reason he has to offer this job to Sam is the fact that Sam is the main character. Like, I get that he's nice and generous, but that doesn't mean anything. Sam doesn't like living in this place. Walter knows that, which is why he left in the first place. Speaking of he left in the first place, he's been gone for the past 2 years, and he only came back to do one friend and ended up, by happenstance, to stay longer than he originally proposed to. Now, I get that there's a lot of shit that this guy ignores, meaning Walter, but, like, there is no reason for him to offer this position to Sam, aside from the fact that he's the main character. So, for that reason, I don't like this choice.
Thank you, but no. This town and I have too much history.
Quite right, quite right. It was a silly idea.
What about Anna? I can't think of anyone who cares more about Basswood.
Anna? She's always been a bit of a freelancer. I hadn't considered it. Though now I feel like a real tomfool. Do you think she'd take it?
We won't know until you ask her.
Wonderful. But Samuel, make sure this isn't goodbye. And next time I send you a text,
I'll answer it, Walter. I promise.
if I can give you a small piece of advice, a good life is one where you keep your friends close to your heart.
I could not agree more, actually. As long as your friends don't turn out to be pieces of shit who fuck you over. And no, I did not say that out of personal experience. Well, I mean, I have had friends that were pieces of shit and fucked me over, but that wasn't the reason why I mentioned that. That wasn't like a thing to spite or anything like that. Let's see. But I think pretty much everybody has had friends who were pieces of shit and fucked
you
them
make
over.
sure to push yourself. Get some fresh air. Don't let these doctors keep you cooped up for too long now. Oh, Sam, you're finally here. I was looking for you. Now, I know you've been through hell and back. I know that. If there's anything the Basswood Police Department can do for you, or even just little old me, you give me a holler, all right? For now, well, I got some good news for you for once. We found Declan's fingerprints on Dennis's gun. And since your testimony and Anna's corroborate Dickie's statement, no charges are going to be filed against you or Anna. It's clear self-defense. Still hard to believe a man I trusted was running a drug ring. Here.
She's worried about her re-election chances as sheriff.
Huh.
She's playing cleanup for the whole police force right now. Before you answer, just remember, it's always nice to have a police chief as a friend.
One thing about this. Honestly, I can't really critique this from a realism perspective, as far as like him being an exonerated and all that, because I'm not a goddamn police officer. I don't know shit about how that kind of shit works, so it may or may not be accurate. I'll just kind of take it for what it is. Also, are sheriffs elected? Because I didn't know that. That's interesting. I know that like government officials, of course, are elected. Like the president is elected through electoral college, and then the people elect senators and legislators, and they also elect their own state legislators, and they also elect their own governors. But I didn't know that sheriffs were elected. That's interesting. The more you know. I figured it was just one of those things where you just kind of become a cop, and then from becoming a cop you become a deputy, and then from deputy you become a sheriff. I know that sheriffs and cops aren't the same thing. I know that, at least not everywhere. They have different duties and all that. Cops are typically in charge of like a city, and then sheriffs are over a county. But like I still figured that like you would typically go from a cop to a deputy. That's kind of how I figured it would go. I don't know shit about being a cop, man. I'm not a fucking cop. I don't know shit about it. Although if I can though, I will help to get Best reelected. I mean, why not? It can't happen again. Well, actually, here's one thing about that too. And this is an important note that I thought. I thought this was interesting when what's his face Declan was talking about too, is the fact that according to Declan himself, he used to be the straight arrow, and then this shitty town is what made him go corrupt. So it can't happen again. Okay. So ordinarily, I would give the message of it can't happen again, not to blame her, but because the town is kind of shitty, so maybe it can make somebody else corrupt again. But I'm not going to, and I'm not going to because that would that would denote the wrong connotation from the game. Because one thing you gotta remember here is that what they say, what the choices you choose in any choice-based game do not necessarily reflect what they would mean in real life. And that is the case here, so I'm just gonna say don't blame yourself.
It wasn't your fault. No one saw it coming.
I still would have trusted him with my life. He was serious, dedicated. Looking back, maybe obsessed.
It's a rot that grows deep under the floorboards. I didn't see it either.
What happened isn't on you.
Thanks, officer.
Bess, hon. I've known you too long for you to call me anything else. Well, I'd love to stay, but I'm afraid duty calls. Look after yourself, Sam.
For shizzle. Now what about Anna? Let's get this game over with. When I say that, I don't mean like I want to end as soon as possible. I'm just saying, like, you know, I think this is the end. Let's see. Why is your arm hurt? Your shoulder, your chest had the gunshot wound.
So, I wasn't sure you'd show up at all.
Yeah,
That's heartless.
I meant to get here before you, but I had to stop by the cemetery on the way. Finally paid Nick a visit.
Still doesn't feel like he's gone, right? I was still thinking he'd come greet me when I opened the door, you know?
I want to pause. I gotta mention one thing that I think is curious, which is the fact that only people who've been nice and amicable towards Sam are here. I mention because there were a lot more people in this town that liked her. Even the people in the cove liked her. And pretty much all those people hate Sam, right? So like gameplay wise, I get why they're not here because it would just make everything just unnecessarily hostile for the end of a game. But from a story point of view, it doesn't make sense. Like those guys, like the Indian lady and all those guys, they'd be up in this bitch. I imagine at least.
You feeling okay?
Is it crazy to say it feels like the longest day of my life is finally over?
Same here. It didn't feel like it would end. But at least I had you with me.
Lucky for you, or you would have been the one getting shot.
Sorry.
What about you? How are you compacting everything?
It's way too big. It feels like a reel-to-reel film. That all really happened.
It's surreal, that's for sure.
I don't know if it'll ever feel real.
At least it's over. Whatever was on Nick's laptop is gone forever. But so are the bad guys. The scales are balanced.
What? I don't know.
Nick was a good journalist. There might have been some things on there.
Okay, like...
Want to tell me what you're doing here? Talk about the little details that don't add up and don't really matter? You better not be taking my happy ending away from us. It's just that...
I didn't know what else to say.
Okay, so I talked to Walter. How would you like to be the next editor-in-chief of the Basswood Jungle?
What? Are you kidding?
I'm not. He's about to retire. I promised I'd talk you into it if you tried to turn it down.
I don't even know if I'd
You
want
made
it.
no such promise that I'm aware of. You know, I'm gonna be a dick.
You know, I could use a job. If you don't want to do it, I'm sure Walter would...
Don't you dare! I do want that position. Okay, if I'm doing this, I might need help. What about you? Are you leaving town again?
I'm still thinking about it. Keeping my options open.
Well, think about it, Sam Higgs. You'd be welcome. Anytime. I'm
That was
gonna
it.
need business cards.
No one uses business cards anymore.
It's the 21st
Except they
century,
do.
Higgs. What's old is new again. And think about what Walter would want.
Well, business cards it is then.
Okie dokie. No place like home. Twin Mirror, okie dokie, that was the end. So here's time for my review. Interesting. So, I'm gonna go over the story first. So, in this game there's a micro story and a macro story. The macro story is the overall plot, the micro story is the characters. Because part of this game was supposed to be that it was built around the characters as well, like your interactions with them and all that. So, the overall story, I thought was pretty good, I liked it. My only issue was the refuge, because the refuge made no goddamn sense. They should have been totally rewritten. But everything else I thought was pretty cool. I liked everything else. I thought it was pretty good. Asterisk, though. So, now for the micro story. So, the micro story was not very good. And the micro story was not very good because it's supposed to be about the characters. You see all the characters like once or twice. Even Joan, who's supposed to be very close to you, you don't see that much. The pivotal choice with her at the fishing shack thing obviously came down to nothing, because that decision didn't even matter. Like, I'm pretty damn sure that even if I didn't tell her shit, she would have ran away from home. But then once she found out the truth, she would have still been there anyway and been like, oh my god, I can't believe it happened. I don't, like, that choice didn't really matter. And, the shit with Anna, like, a lot of these things, cause like a lot of storylines, for the character storylines, weren't even followed through. Like, I felt these guys were introduced and then nothing happened with them. Like, there was no chance to resolve anything with any of the townspeople or anything. So, the micro story fails, and because the micro story fails, here's the asterisk there. The macro story also fails in a way. I know I said I liked the macro story, but here's the thing. Because the macro story did do a good job, right? The investigation, all that shit was really good. Here's the thing, though, is that in a game like this, the micro story should end up becoming a part of the macro story, and it should all come together into one whole piece, and I don't know, be whole. I don't know what the word is. Be whole. Since the micro story didn't really add up to anything, the macro story suffered for it in that regard. Aside from that, though, so this game has some story problem. It has a little bit of story problems macro-wise. Micro-wise, there's a lot of problems, and those micro problems ultimately hinder the macro problems as well. It hinders the macro success. But overall, I like the story, but some of the finer details could have been touched up a bit. So, next one is the gameplay. Purely gameplay-wise, I have no complaints. I thought the gameplay was perfectly fine. That's pretty much it. I think the gameplay was fine. Now, here's the kicker, though. The technical issues. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not beating a dead horse here. I'm aware I've already talked about the technical issues in detail. I'm aware that I've already bitched about the audio problems enough, particularly with regard to the disappearing BGM. Here's the thing, though. I looked on the internet to see if anybody else was having the same problems with the audio, and turns out I was actually one of the fortunate ones, with only having audio issues. And when a game has audio issues, and that makes me the fortunate one, you know that something's fucked up. Allow me to elaborate. Like, so, I'll just say this, to start out with. Like, other people have similar audio problems, where they, and by the way, these problems are everywhere, but there are a lot of people who had problems with the audio as far as BGM. A lot of people have it as far as SFX as well. There are people who had problems with the voice acting being synced to the lipping. There are oftentimes certain models that wouldn't even be rendered, particularly with Joan's drawings. There were character models that wouldn't appear. You would see a rag cleaning a table by itself. You would see somebody holding up their hand like they were using a cell phone, but there's nothing in their hand. And their cell phone is a half a football field behind them, floating in midair. Sometimes you only see people's heads. Especially during cutscenes. Like, I'm saying, like, this game has a lot of technical issues. And so, like, the fact that I only got the audio ones, particularly with the BGM, makes me one of the luckier people. This game could have been far worse for me, with worse technical issues. So remember when I said this game could have used a week or 2 or 3, you know, to continue testing? Make that a month or 2 or 3, if not more. Because, like, straight up, dude, this game, Okay, here's the thing. I actually do like this game, but dude, this game, from a technical perspective, this game is a technical mess with ubiquitous bugs, straight up, and that should not be the case. So this hasn't been a very long review, but that's about all I got. Cause like, yeah, that's about all I got. So Dotnod has made 3 games now. It made Life is Strange, which had some problems, particularly with its character development, but overall I loved that game. It had Life is Strange 2, which was an absolute pile of fuck to the point where I didn't even finish it. And it had this one. So far, Life is Strange is still my favorite of them. This game beats out Life is Strange 2 though. And this game did alright. I know this isn't very good of a review, but that's about all I got. So story-wise, I gave my thoughts. There's a shitload of technical issues, and then as far as anything else goes, well, the gameplay was good enough. And yes, I know that technical issues come as part of the gameplay, but I wanted to put them in their own category, because I feel like the technical issues deserve their own spot. So, is there anything else? Honestly, not really. I think it's about it. If I have anything else, I'm gonna give myself 30 seconds. If I have anything else, I'll go ahead and add it in right now. That's it? Okay. Well, if I had anything else to say, I said it. If I didn't, I didn't. Either way, that's the end of the credits, and it's the end of this playthrough. Thank you for watching. I've been Mr. Flitch. Goodbye. Good night. Have a great day. Go fuck your girlfriend, or whatever. Have a nice day. Have a nice pizza and steak. But goodbye.